Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch. Twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, and of course on the YouTube as well these days. We're going to be doing our Royal Rumble watch-along this coming Saturday. That should be a lot of fun. Also, we're going to make this announcement, I believe, on our predictions video on Friday. Or maybe we'll do something tomorrow or later on today I don't know. But we've got Royal Rumble predictions. Who will be Royal Rumble prediction winner? We're not doing it anymore. Well, we are going to do it, but we're allowing all of our $5 a month up patrons and all the YouTube channel members to participate as well. So you can get in on the action. And I've been thinking about prizes, Larson.
Yeah.
Things that we can do. And this is what I came up with, man. I really like the idea the other day of the NFT, which, by the way, is just going to be like a picture, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a JPEG.
Like a PNG. Do PNG.
Or PNG or JPEG or something like that.
With the alpha background, so people can take of Big Red, so they can take it and put it on stuff if they want.
So there's that, but also I was thinking this. You know me. I like to fiddle with the arts. I like to illustrate things sometimes.
Yes.
I was thinking, look, I could be like channel my inner caricaturist, right?
Oh, that's
and
good.
Like whoever wins, send me or send us a picture of themselves, and we could do one of two things. We can either add the PNG of Big Red on them, and put it on our Instagram. Or if they want, I'll just like do a drawing of them with Big Red. I kind of like the first idea, to be honest with you. Yeah. They just sent a picture of themselves and then we put Big Red on it. I like that better, actually. Yeah, that's a bit more straightforward.
That takes 2 minutes, yeah.
That's like easy. Otherwise, I got to take out my iPad. If you sign up, you become a new YouTube channel member or a $5 and up patron, y'all will be eligible to digitally win Big Red. You'll be the predictions champion. We'll put you on the ticker here on the show all month long.
But you won't get that one. That one's
look, just to be clear, that Big Red is staying where it is. It looks nice right there. You know, I mean, your head kind of covers it up. I wish you'd sort of put it somewhere where people could actually
there's really no better place to put it.
Well, yeah, there is, in sight of people is sort of my point.
If I move like this, you can see it.
You don't really do that, though. It's not a natural thing.
Hi, Big Red.
Hello, Larson.
What was it that Kevin Nash said as Goldberg?
Are you ready to wrestle the champ? Hey, this is Goldberg. No. Hey, this is Goldberg. Too sweet, or something like that. It was like the toy microphone we had.
Yes.
And you'd press different buttons that had little pictures of the WCW wrestlers on them. Yes. And the one that was Goldberg was clearly Kevin Nash. Yeah, anyways, fun times. On this episode of Going in Raw, we're going to talk about last night's NXT. We're going to preview tonight's AEW, and we got a story about what Tony Khan had to do in order to get that Mark Briscoe Jay Lethal match to air tonight on AEW Dynamite. Should be a pretty good show tonight. Let's see here. But first, let's talk about this. The Bellas shooting hard on the WWE, kind of a little bit. They're calling it like they see it. So after Raw 30 went down, of course, the Bellas were both advertised to appear at Raw 30, but then they didn't. After the show, the Bellas appeared on Instagram Live to shoot a bit on the lack of representation from WWE's women's legends. These transcripts come to you from Fightful. Nikki was like, another good memory on Raw. How didn't they showcase anything from the women's evolution? And Bree says, but she says, but also the way we did our matches on there. Nikki said, because Sasha Banks is in it, and like, we can't show her. So they're sort of complaining about like the lack of the women's legends, shown, even though they did actually show Sasha Banks in one of the video packages, I think. But anyways, it was sort of seen as a slight towards WWE. It wasn't very long. They were just on there for a second. And then on Tuesday, in another Instagram Live, Nikki Bella she felt like, hey, I need to sort of clarify some things. So she did that. Do you want to read this? These transcripts come to you via Fightful. I got to take some tea, man.
Sure, there you go. Nikki said this. I want to take a second to get on to talk about a few things. First, about maybe a few wrestling headlines I saw. As you will see, the narrative will try to get changed. So some people look good and others look bad. This is what is so amazing about this platform. We get to talk about the truth. This week, from Monday until Thursday, Bree and I and Artem have been booked on crazy media because of the premiere of Nikki Bella Says I Do this Thursday night. WWE-owned show, which is why you see trailers on Monday Night Raw. We were hoping, I think it was weeks ago, we were talking about going to Raw. They said they had nothing for us. So, an aside here, I assume that's when they were initially advertised.
Yeah.
And then, I guess once they worked out creative for the show, WB changed their mind. Anyways, Nikki continues. We were booked on media on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then there was maybe an idea. Our whole team, including WB and everyone else, had booked us for Monday in New York. Whatever you see of stuff, all of a sudden, the stories change. That's to clean up and throw it on people. Nope. We had all these commitments per the company we work for and everyone else. I know fans like to throw it on people, but I'm not going to let that happen. And she continues about the fans, being critical of WB, cutting the cage match from the show. And there were a few shots in the video packages. There was one from Sasha and Charlotte's was the Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah.
There was a few clips of some of the classic women's matches, women's moments, but could there have been more? Probably. Anyways, Nikki says this. I also love the fans for sticking up for women. There are so many crybabies. Oh, they just whine. Let me tell you why people get upset. This is speaking on behalf of the majority of women. Oh, they always make it about them. No, just because we speak up, we're not making it about ourselves. It's about the women from the very beginning to the ones that are there. I understand why so many people are upset, especially our fans, when it's something like Raw 30. Remember when I first started watching Raw, as you all know, some of you like to give me shit that I wasn't a fan the day I was born. I was obsessed with the matches with Beth Phoenix, Candice Michelle, Melina, Mickie James. That, for me in my era of wrestling, when I became a fan, that was Raw to me. People have all their own memories, and that's why it's so important to have women represent, because for so many of the fans, they have their different eras of Chyna, Lita, and Trish, Melina, Mickie, Michelle, Beth, Candice, those incredible women of that era. Then our era with AJ, Paige, Brie, and I, and so on. I love that you're doing the hashtag, and you're going to see a lot of narratives play because people have to protect themselves, and you're going to get a lot of women blamed and people calling them crybabies. No, we put in just as much effort and work. All of those women do, all of them from every era, not just women, men too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, that was something that was missing. Obviously our friend Medusa made the show, but beyond that, like, there wasn't a whole lot of, all the names that she mentioned, those were people that we've seen on previous nostalgia shows. Yeah. I mean, just going back, I don't know what the last one was like Raw 1000. Was
Raw 25? Is that the last one?
Raw 25 was 5 years ago.
Oh, that was 5 years ago.
So I think Raw 1000 was like the more recent one. That was like the last Vince one.
Yeah, maybe.
And I mean, even then you had a couple of the the women's legends, the alumni, if you will, sort of there. And yeah, there was not a lot of that in this episode. I think it's a valid criticism. I think the Bellas, the Bellas get a lot of incredibly unwarranted flack from a large portion, I'll say, of the internet wrestling community. And dude, in my estimation, I mean, I've heard this anecdotal. I don't have numbers in front of me. I've heard this anecdotally time and time again that they did bring a lot of people into watching WWE thanks to their reality show stuff. Whether you like that stuff or not, that does bring, similar to like how the video games would bring eyeballs to the product. Whenever you have, that's why WWE participates and have their wrestlers participate in things like Ms. and Mrs. It's to get people who normally wouldn't watch wrestling. Hey, I'm invested in these characters. I want to know more about them. Oh, they're in wrestling. This seems like a fun thing. And, wait, Raw 1000 was 2013. What was the recent one then?
Was it Raw 1500? They do a 1500?
Oh, man, I don't even know. Raw 1000 was a CM Punk hitting Cena. What was the recent one then? There was some recent one. Anyways, I don't know what it was. It was something.
Oh, there was Old School Raw.
Old School Raw.
February of 2022.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Old School Raw. Yeah. Yeah, they just wheeled that one out. There was no anniversary or anything. Vince just wanted to pop ratings. Like, yeah, let's do Old School Raw. There we go. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyways. So yeah, I don't know. Warranted criticism,
absolutely.
People get.
Yeah.
People get all upset. Oh, how dare you? But yeah, no, they could have done better. I'm still kind of annoyed about that cage match situation.
Yeah, same here. There's, like mentioned on the recap, that cage match should have been one of the 4 things you built the entire show around. The fact that got cut and some of the other stuff that made the show didn't get cut is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
Raw reunion. Oh yeah, Raw reunion. I think they did a SmackDown one too. I don't know. Whenever ratings were down. By the way, real quick, holy crap, that Raw rating.
It's really good.
I think it was like 2.64 in the first hour or something like that. 2.64 million, and then average like what 2.44 million altogether.
Yes, it's probably a good idea to not schedule this opposite Monday Night Football, huh?
Well, yeah, but still, even when it's been not against Monday Night Football over the past like 2 years or so, it still hasn't been really all that great. I thought they did a good job advertising this.
Yeah, they did.
Anyways, let's talk about this. So it was revealed yesterday that Warner Brothers Discovery had reversed their asinine position to keep any reference to the Briscoe brothers off of Dynamite. And they would allow Tony Khan, in fact, to have Mark Briscoe wrestle on tonight's Dynamite. During an appearance on the Battleground podcast, Khan stated that while he received pushback from Warner's, he, quote, fought hard to get Mark booked on the show to honor his brother Jay. Khan continued, these transcripts come to you via Wrestling Inc. I'm really excited about the match. I believe it's going to be a great one, and I think it's great they're going to be able to honor the legacy of somebody that everybody in pro wrestling has so much respect for, the great Jay Briscoe. On his 39th birthday, this Wednesday night Dynamite on TBS, and with everything happening, this is going to be something really great for everybody in the locker room who is rallying around the Briscoe family. Yeah, man, I hope some people got yelled at, because this is stupid. That's absolutely asinine.
Yeah,
absolutely asinine.
It was a pretty ridiculous stance. And we talked about it last week. Jay tweeted some awful stuff. Was it 2013? Mm-hmm. And then through the years, apologized publicly several times, and according to several accounts, took the steps necessary to better himself. Mm-hmm. He showed genuine contrition, and based on you hear Ian Riccaboni tell it, several other people, like he was a changed man.
Yeah.
And to be so firm on that policy.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that since 2013, Jay seemingly went out of his way to make amends for what he tweeted, and try to better himself, and it seemingly didn't matter to them.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, hopefully, I don't know, man. I don't know. People are kind of ridiculous for not letting him do that. Mm-hmm. But that's what is. Warner Brothers Discovery, they're a freaking mess of a company right now.
Yeah, anyways. the whole corporate entity of Warner Brothers Discovery, ever since the merger, just seems like it's a dumpster fire.
I am curious if that's going to be any sort of hindrance towards AEW getting the kind of TV deal that they want coming up, because it's like when that kind of stuff, it's like trying to do business with people, and then you have a deal made, and then like somebody else comes along, and it's like, oh, wait a second, not so fast.
I mean, if there's so much turnover in Warner Brothers Discovery, as seemingly there is of late, you think you have a deal with somebody in place, they're out the door, someone else is there, maybe they don't look so favorably upon wrestling as the other person did. Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting.
It could be fraught.
Patty Swan here in our chat says, as somebody who recently worked for Warner Brothers Discovery, dealing with corporate overlords was hell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. This is an absolute mess.
Dang MQ here says the head of Warner Brothers Discovery also said they don't need the NBA.
I am curious about that quote. I am super curious about that quote. Man, oh, man. Anyways, I want to mention this really quick. Actually, I want to see if I can find. Let's see here. Well, I wanted to mention. Oh, you know what I can find here? Here we go. I want to mention this really quick. We have some new and returning YouTube channel members.
Oh.
Danny B, Versace Crew, FJ Nardi, Tom Moffat, Alyssa Leggett, Ant Vision, Brackish Travis, Big Country, Fantasy Phantom, and Nixie. Thank you very much. Also new patrons, Oasis 1711, Franklin Davis, Cruz, Mike Gold, and Jack Napier. Thank you very much for your support. Not only do you guys get bonus episodes, not only do you guys get, at least on Patreon, you get the audio ad-free, but you guys can become the new Big Red champion right here, Going In Raw. You don't actually get Big Red.
You don't get the belt, though.
You get like a simulation. You get like a digital NFT.
You get a PNG. You can overland. Stuff,
right.
I guess.
Right. So it's our own version of an NFT. It's an
NFT.
It's an environmentally sound NFT.
Yeah.
It's just a JPEG.
Or PNG.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Can people choose what format they want? If they just want a PNG to have it, or if they wanted the PNG to overlay?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't care. Right. You know, they can also choose. They can choose what color Big Red they get. They could get Big Blue. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big Volt. That's what I want.
Big Volt. Well, if you win, Larson, because there's the thing, I'm going to be participating. I'm assuming the Enforcer's going to be participating, and obviously you're going to be wanting to defend your title.
Of course. I'm a competitive individual. I got a competition in me.
Absolutely. The deadline is Saturday at noon. We will give more details later on today. I've got the graphic all whipped up.
Good.
Give you guys more details later on today on the Patreon and in the community tab for the YouTube channel members. There we go.
Sounds
digital Big Red. Exactly, Alyssa.
There we go.
YouTube
there we go.
channel.
All right. You want to talk NXT? I suppose we should.
Yeah. In 1 second here, I want to see if is there the possibility of Paul calling in today? If we get to 200 likes?
Sure, I guess. I mean, it's.
Do you have any questions for him today?
I could think of something. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If we get to 200
likes, a little
likes,
sluggish today. I'm gonna be honest with you.
If we get to 200 likes, it's okay. It's all right.
All right.
You've got enough of a rapport with Paul these days, man.
Yeah.
I think you can.
Sometimes he's got to kind of give him the go ahead. He'll just talk.
Yeah. You can. You can just phone it in. He'll be fine. Anyways.
I mean, that's kind of what I do. At least 4 days a week. So.
Right. Exactly. You're good for 1 day a week of some energy and enthusiasm.
Actual work.
Yeah. Speaking of trying to bring energy and enthusiasm, let's talk about NXT now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, the first hour was all right, I thought, because there was, I don't know, I just felt like the show was kind of light on wrestling. And it was a lot of talking. And because of that,
sure.
the show felt like it was, the pacing was just kind of plodding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like a tough watch for some reason.
Oh, did it? Interesting. So I watched it late last night. You were watching it kind of under the gun today, weren't you? I noticed the notes happening in real time.
I started at 9 this morning. So usually if I start at 9, I can get it done before we start at 11. Mm-hmm. But because there was so much talking, and I was trying early on especially, you'll see in the notes here that I was trying to transcribe the promos, not exactly word for word, but get actually, somewhat close to that. Mm-hmm. And as it goes on, it's just paraphrasing.
Oh, wow.
Because yes, it takes more time to transcribe promos close to verbatim as opposed to just paraphrasing. So
yeah. I watched it late last night. I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty fun. I don't know. To me, developing the characters, which can often be done through promos and stuff, is I don't know. I'm starting to kind of like these characters. I don't know. I'm sort of at the point with NXT where it's like if I watch it, I enjoy it fine enough. If I don't watch it, I don't really miss it. You know what I mean? It's sort of there with. It's like if I miss Raw, I'm like, oh man, what did Judgment Day do? What did Seth do? What did all those? I like the characters in there. I want to see them. SmackDown, same thing. Main roster, I'm all about that. AEW, I'm like, oh man, I missed at least Dynamite. Rampage, I'm usually like, whatever. I can catch it in Twitter clips.
Not much happens on Dynamite.
Right, or Rampage, you mean?
Also meant Rampage. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, with NXT, it's like I appreciate what they do. We got a really nice variety of stuff. We had the women's tag title match and some ramifications for that. We had everybody gets a little piece on NXT, and I can appreciate that. It's sort of like Impact in that regards. It's just Impact has those storylines that just absolutely cracked me up and tickled me to no end.
You're talking about Honor No More, of course, yes.
Of course, it's storyline of 2022 for my money right there. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I liked the things that I typically like. I liked the barbershop segment with Apollo.
Yeah, that was really good.
I thought that was really good. I really like that rivalry. I'm sort of curious what your thoughts on Vengeance Day as it pertains to that is coming up. I like the Waller stuff with Braun Breaker. I think that's pretty strong. I want to see that title on Waller. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd like to see it.
The way they're setting it up, it definitely feels like for the first time in a long time that Braun has a legit threat in front of him.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Just because Waller can push his buttons, Braun's buttons, like, no one else has been able to do thus far.
And on top of that, if I'm not mistaken on my math here, Waller got the best of Braun Breaker this week, which leads Braun Breaker to potentially get the better of Waller next week, which would be the go-home. And if that's the case, then the go-home math would favor Waller. I think, it's time for a change. They need somebody else. And it might not happen until Stand and Deliver. I think that might be more possible. But also the Rumble's coming up. If Braun Breaker makes his main roster debut at the Rumble, and then, it's entirely possible he drops it the next week at Vengeance Day to Waller and just quantum leaps out of there like they used to do in NXT. Again, I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to Braun Breaker, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's time for a change. I don't think they need to wait till Mania weekend to do that.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I guess the worry with Braun is that if he gets called up, maybe he'll get kind of lost in the shuffle because his character is just nothing really about it stands out.
Yeah, but dude, he's been like that for a year. I don't see that changing,
No, I don't either. I'm saying I feel like he's going to kind of just not really stand out on main roster because of that.
He'll need to find something.
Yeah.
He'll need to find something. They need to Steiner the crap out of that guy. They really do.
That would be something. That would be a choice, yeah.
One of the more stranger feuds on NXT right now is this Jordan Devlin and Andre Chase stuff. Talk about two very different sort of acts.
Yes.
Jordan Devlin interrupting Thea Hale's graduation ceremony.
It's interesting that Devlin, maybe this is just a one-time deal, got away from, I'm going to pick you apart by doing this.
It was sort of old Jordan Devlin, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It didn't feel like the kind of American Psycho direction they were going for a stretch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah. They sort of swiveled from that. So anyways, let's just go ahead and dive into it and see where we're at when we do that.
Sure.
It started with Waller showing up at the PC. So they showed this on social media before, which I thought was a cool little bit. They showed this on social media beforehand. So he shows up at the PC, and he's live streaming on Instagram or whatever. And I kind of liked it. They showed a bunch of different angles from different people's social medias.
Everybody got their phones out, yeah.
Including NXT Anonymous and some security cam footage. So at least they're trying to vary up the presentation a little bit, even if it came off as a bit manufactured. But no, he goes in there, he talks some shit to Wall. Everybody's doing their, working through their matches or whatever. Whatever they're supposed to do with the PC and kayfabe. So anyway, he starts talking shit at Braun Breaker. He throws a bunch of water bottles at him. Braun Breaker comes down and he attacks him. Everybody in the PC is just, trying to break it up while stifling laughter.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of harkens back to how they used to present stuff a bit. They have security camera, and in the foreground something's happening, but the background is what you're really supposed to be paying attention to. And so
I tried to,
the background action would become the foreground action.
I tried to get I tried to peep out who NXT Anonymous was because they're filming from a door and they cut to a reverse angle, it looked like, but it was too far in the distance for me to peep out who NXT Anonymous was.
That's what I was going to say. If you studied that, if you Zapruder filmed that stuff, you should be able to figure out who Anonymous is.
Yeah. My DVR is so my Comcast, I forget what they call it. It's whatever the DVR is. It's it's so pixely sometimes. When it's all shaky, you try to pause that. It's I can't even tell.
You got that motion blur where you can't see anything.
I should put the sports thing on. What is it called? Real motion,
True Motion or whatever.
True Motion, yeah. Every TV has a different setting.
Yeah.
Anyways,
first match of the night was Indy Hartwell versus Tiffany Stratton. I believe this is Tiffany's first match since she kind of had her repackaging as the New Year or whatever they dubbed her when she made her return.
Yeah.
This is a fun bout. At one point, Indy kicks Tiffany in the knee and then hits her with a huge boot. So Tiffany's selling knee. I'm hurt. I got a knee injury.
Yeah.
So the ref checks on her, and then Indy's about to go for her forearm from the corner. And she hesitates. The ref calls out the trainer. So as the trainer's running out to ringside, about to get on the apron, Stratton hits Indy with a forearm, follows with a somersault senton, and a double step up moonsault to get the win.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that moonsault was awesome. It's funny because there's a couple people coming out of the Performance Center right now. Of course, Sol Ruka is one of them, who I really appreciate that they're adding some creativity to their in-ring stuff. And Tiffany is one of those who has really adapted well very quickly.
Yeah.
You love to see that stuff.
Absolutely.
After that, we had a JC Jane interview. And they're talking about obviously her rift with Gigi Dolan. She says, my biggest problem is not that you stated the obvious, but that you called Gigi my partner. She says, you might think that the kick last week was miscommunication. I call it an awakening. It was in that moment that I realized I've been carrying her since the moment we formed this group, and I'm done. I'm the reason Toxic Attraction held on to tag team gold for close to a year. Gigi's been anchoring me down for far too long, and I refuse to let her stop me from becoming champ at Vengeance Day. And then Mackenzie says, hey, what should we expect from tonight's championship summit? And she said, something you've never seen before, which I don't know if she actually delivered on that now that I think about it.
I don't know either. Then we're in the Diamond Mine gym. Drew Gulak, Hank Walker, and I think a couple more of Drew's students are training with the Creed brothers. And so Drew and Hank are off to the side. And Drew's giving Hank pointers based on what's going on in these little scrums.
Yeah.
So then finally, Drew, see enough, he calls over his student. He starts giving them instructions. And then Hank's like, oh, let me get a piece. And Drew says, no, I got next. So he and Julius Creed start wrestling. Julius takes him down, trips him up. And Drew gets up, says, that was a cheap shot, and shoves Julius. And it sets up Hank Walker versus, or both of them, Hank and Drew versus the Creeds later on.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I can't stand that NWO Seth Rogen still wears that fucking shirt and jeans. I can't fucking stand it. It's like everybody there has like normal wrestling outfits on, and this dude
should
just
get some gear
there.
that matches Drew Gulak if they're going to be a tag team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Anything. Anything.
The match was pretty good, though. Their match
no,
with
the
Creed Brothers was pretty
Hank
good.
Walker's actually pretty decent in there.
Coming along, man.
It looks like a jackass wearing, looks like he just... What's wrong? What do you like with my shirt? What's wrong with my shirt? Why are you giving me so much shit, Steve? Why don't we just go get high? Anyways, after that, we had a Chase U assembly. It was the Thea Hill certificate thing. Throw up your Chase U's, everybody. So Chase introduces Thea Hale, says she showed courage and confidence. She looked fear right in the eye and didn't blink. And then she said, she said, fear? You don't scare me, motherfucker. And they had to censor him and be like, whoa, relax. He says, Thea, I'm so proud. It's my honor to present this award for her first victory to Thea Hale. And then Chase gives her an award. Thea takes the mic. She thanks Chase, students Chase U. And then she's interrupted by J.D. Don't Google my name.
Yeah.
And then so Devlin says, there, didn't I? It's all good, whatever. J.D. McDonough is a terrible name, man. It's a terrible name.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait to get to you transcribing fucking Gallus.
So Devlin says, is this what we're doing now? Is this how far the standard has slipped? All of this for one win? We're doing participation awards in NXT now? See, I'm a nice guy. I'm going to give you some life advice. When you hang around with losers, every win means a lot. Don't worry about the fans. They're just as delusional as you three. They're losers, just like the three of you. So then Chase says, it's bad enough that you interrupt Thea's speech, but I'm not going to have you drag the good name of Chase U through the dirt. This university means the world to me, to Thea, to all of them. But he didn't mention Duke Hudson. So JD says, oh, but not Duke, right? You didn't mention him. Does he love Chase U? Let me give you a bit of advice. This is Devlin's thing now, apparently. He's doling out unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
It says, I'm not some wet behind the ears student that you can curse at. Let's end this sad charade. Clear the stuff out of the ring. I'm dressed for a fight while you're dressed like a moron. And Chase says, one of the first lessons I teach my students is to always be prepared, stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So, J.D. McDonough, I'm going to give you a Chase U size ass whooping. So he takes off the gown because they got like graduation gear on. Takes off his gown. He's got his ring gear on.
He's always ready.
Next.
He's always ready to go. Yeah, so we get that match. And at a certain point when Andre Chase tries to go up top, Jordan Devlin sort of, pushes him kind of off or, down or whatever. And Duke Hudson gets upset about that, I guess. And then he storms off and Chase is like, where's he going? Thea's like, where's he going? And then Jordan Devlin takes advantage of that and hits him with the Devlin side. It's funny to see Jordan Devlin do. It's one thing to see him do it on, the smaller NXT UK guys, but to see him do it on like a 6'2" guy like Chase, like Andre Chase, it's so funny because it's just Andre Chase jumping up and throwing himself to the ground.
Yeah, I know.
It's a sick looking move though. It's a really sick looking move.
It is. But yeah, it's 85% of of it is on the person taking it.
Yeah,
I guess the same thing with the Destroyer too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So then we're backstage. Kiana James is giving her assistant some directions about to do some stuff, and then she takes her leave. So Briggs, Jensen, and Fallon Henley step in, and Jensen asks Kiana, "Is everything fine?" And Kiana says, "Yeah." And she says, "Fallon, now you have my full attention." So Fallon says, "All right, good. We're up next. You good to go?" And Kiana says, "Yes." And Fallon says, "We got our game plan. All right, let's go." And Kiana says, "Actually, how about I start the match?" And Fallon says, "Oh, you want to start?" And she looks up at Jensen and Briggs. And Kiana says, "On second thought, let's just see what happens out there. Whoever starts will make a great team."
Yeah, it's already falling apart, but maybe not. Right. Maybe not. So, you know what, man? Honestly, like Briggs and Jensen, I'm really starting to appreciate Jensen and Kiana James for that matter, because man, she was everywhere in this match. So it was Kiana James and Fallon Henley versus Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. Kiana James was doing everything it took to win this match, Larson. There was a part where Fallon Henley and Ivy Nile sort of locked up. I think Ivy Nile had Fallon Henley in some sort of submission.
Sleeper,
yeah, right. And so while the ref was like, Kiana James gets up there and sort of like yells at the ref to go look at like Ivy Nile's partner, right? And so she goes back over, she grabs Ivy Nile's hair, she like pulls her down to the mat. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then she like runs around and she keeps saying Paxley for getting in the ring or something like that. Fallon Henley's able to hit her Shining Wizard or whatever it was, the knee strike on Ivy Nile to get the win, right? So good job. Yeah. They get in, they start celebrating. What does Briggs start doing? He starts like fucking snitching on her. She's like, they're like, hey, yeah. And then you see Briggs going like, and then Fallon Henley's like, what happened? And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. You got the win. You got the win. Like, what the fuck, dude? Briggs and Fallon Henley are both kind of crap, I'll be honest with you. Like, in terms of their characters, at this point, they're kind of crap. More on that a little bit later.
Yeah, more on that later. So before that, New Day, they're in the locker room. Inoue and Blade step in. Blade says, hey, we want to come in and say thank you. We've learned so much since you've been here. Not just how to dance. He starts dancing, and Inoue's like, stop. And Wood says, yeah, you two have been killing it. We've loved watching you wrestle down here. And Inoue says, if we're doing that good, we get a title match at Vengeance Day. So Schism steps in. And long story short, they say, you know what we're here for. They want a title shot too. Wood says, next week we're having the New Day Tag Team Invitation. And Kofi says the winner of Tag Team Invitation will join them, Gallus, Pretty Deadly, in the tag title match at Vengeance Day.
That's right, yeah. After that, Apollo Crews is at the Cut Whiz. How do the lyrics? They play the same song every single time.
Yeah.
They want me to miss, but that's a wish.
Something like that, yeah. Something like
that. Anyways, after that, I'm sorry, this segment, Cruz is there and he's, about to get his, I guess, beard freshened up or something like that. Anyways, he's sitting in the barber. Barber's looking at his fucking head like, what do you want me to do with this, dude?
Where's the hair to cut?
He's like, do you want me to de-shine it? I don't know what you want me to do. Anyways, Cruz is like, hey, man, this is a cool spot. I see why Mello and Trick come here. And the barber's like, hey, thanks, man. He's like,
Josh is the barber's name.
Josh the barber says, he's like, yeah, those dudes don't like you coming through, though. And Cruz is like, why not? He's like, I don't know. And he says, probably because I got one on them after they got one on me. He says, I told Mello it's not a one and done for me and him, or that NXT title for that matter. And then Mello and Trick walk in. The record scratch happens.
Yeah.
They're like, the fuck? And so Mello asks Josh why Cruz is in his chair. And Cruz is like, and Josh is like, I don't know. He came in. You weren't here. This is not your chair. This is, client's chair.
Yeah.
And so anyways, Cruz says, I'm starting to see it on your face, man. You realize that you're not getting rid of me. No matter what you do, I'm always going to be on your radar. I understand your aspirations because I'm the exact same. 2 guys, only 1 spot. Mello says, what I'm starting to realize? It must be tough looking at me. It's like looking at a younger, better, more athletic version of yourself from 5 years ago. He says, you got the call early. And they show some footage of Apollo on main roster. He says, but look where you are now. You're back, and you're so close to getting what you want. But you got the biggest and brightest superstar in your way, and I am him. So have one of your visions that you have and tell me that the NXT title doesn't look great around my waist. And Cruz says, yeah, I see it, and it looks better around my waist. I beat you before. Mello says, so what? I beat you too. And then Cruz challenges him too. He says, well, okay, well, we've done 2. How about this? 2 out of 3 falls at Vengeance Day. And Mello's like, yep, that works. I like that. I thought this was good stuff. They got good chemistry.
They do. And just, I don't know something about the setting or what. It just seemed like everybody's very relaxed.
Yeah.
When they do these segments.
Yeah.
They come off as far as pretty genuine, as opposed to doing something in the ring or even backstage at the PC. Then we got Hank Walker. Drew Gulak versus Creed Brothers. This match was a lot of fun.
Oh, I just realized in the scroll here I put Jordan Devlin as well. That JD name is not sticking, man. I'm sorry. It's not. So yeah, this match was tons of fun. I think this is the first time the Creeds did, like, Julius did a standing shooting star press and Brutus did a standing moonsault. Yeah, I know. No, dude, they're coming along big time. They really are. You know what they need? Because I look at the Creeds, man, and like they have everything. And you could even separate Julius if you want a singles guy. But like, man, I do feel like they're gonna need to be. They got to add something to their personality, right? Mm-hmm. Because when they do the acting thing, it's so flat. And I wonder if, like, the first thing that comes to mind, obviously with Julius especially, but both of them, I guess, they get, obviously, for superficial reasons, they got kind of a Kurt Angle vibe. It's like really good in, like, dudes who are progressing really quickly in ring.
Well, they're former amateur wrestlers too. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's pretty superficial. But if they could tap in to like that sort of snarky arrogance that Kurt Angle had, that might be a good starting point. I don't know.
You know what I noticed about Julius is that he delivers promos too fast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He needs to slow down and hit his character beats, during his promo, but also between the sentences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it feels like he memorizes or has in mind what he wants to say and just goes right through it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a whole lot of emoting, especially like the one tonight going on. It's just like he just says it and that's it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so even if it's like his delivery's not the best, like if he hits his beats and you get a sense, okay, this character is like the subtext is this.
Yeah.
This is how he's feeling. Instead of having to like simply say everything.
Yeah.
Show, don't tell, that kind of stuff. I think it'd probably come off way better.
I wonder what they're like, just sort of as like normal people, just away from the character of the Creeds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe main roster, everything looks bigger there, and his in-ring will speak for itself. But Kurt Angle combined so perfectly the personality with the in-ring stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like if they just crack it. And I don't even know what it is. Maybe it's not like, arrogant bad guy. Maybe it's not that. I don't know. But something that just comes off more genuine than what they're doing. And some of it, you're absolutely right, is their delivery. They're probably given a script or bullet points. They unnecessarily complicate some of their story stuff. It's like all their bitching with Ivy Nile, which also kind of makes her look not great. Because she has got the look and she's got the in-ring stuff. She's a badass. She should not be taking pins, by the way.
Nope,
Ivy Nile should not be taking pins. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for the Creeds, but there's a lot of potential there. I don't know how to crack the personality thing to get them to connect with the crowd on. But I don't know. They've connected with the NXT crowd, so maybe it's, what do I know?
Yeah. Who knows? Towards the end of this match, Charlie Dempsey shows up ringside. So Drew Gulak drops off the apron, walks over to confront him. And Hank is in their corner looking for a tag. And Drew just goes, oh, you got this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, what the hell was that? Yeah.
So then Hank drops Julius with a kick, looking for another. Julius catches that, hits him with overhead belly to belly, tags in Brutus. Brutus hits Hank with a Brutus ball for the win. And then Ivy comes to the ring. Julius gets a mic and says, Ivy, I know I could be a pain in the ass at times, but that's how I got to be the very best version of myself. These last couple of months haven't been great. There have been some hard times, but through it all, you stood by our side, so thank you for setting us straight. Brutus thanks her as well and adds, you inspired us. You inspired us to be the old Creeds, the ones who won the NXT tag titles. Julia says the Creeds just aren't the best tag team, and then he's interrupted by Jinder and in the share. And Jinder says, congratulations to the Creeds for once again becoming the Creeds. He said, my brothers are sick and tired of trying to earn everyone's respect, but with me, we're taking it. Next week, we'll find out who you really are. Because next week is in the share versus the Creeds. Accept our challenge. And Ivy says, yeah, you're on.
Yeah. I wonder, man, they've got something like whenever you watch, I don't know, like a draft or anything about college sports on like ESPN or whatever, sometimes they do like those great little character pieces, little documentaries. I wonder if they tried like a super realistic approach with the Creeds, if that would work better, day in the life type shit.
Yeah.
If that would sort of just, that'd be in, because they don't really do that with wrestling very often. Like I got with Bianca, they've done that with Bianca. When like that time they went back to like her hometown and they did that fantastic little mini documentary where she just talks about, coming up in the sports world and being, excelling at what she does.
Yeah.
And it's so genuine. So much of what Bianca does feels very genuine. Yeah. And it's like her promos aren't always like super polished, but she always does come off very genuine.
Yeah, she does.
And I wonder if that kind of approach would help the Creeds.
It could be. It could be. I mean, the Diamond Mine gym idea, obviously somewhat MMA inspired, but also you know you could say it's amateur, it's inspired by the amateur wrestling history. That kind of environment would seem to fit into that kind of approach.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it doesn't seem that far removed to take it the next logical step and just really focus on who and what they really are. They are the amateur wrestlers who came into the sports entertainment world. Tell that story.
Yeah, no, I agree. After that, we had a Gigi Dolan interview. She says, I heard what JC said, and I'm a little surprised, but I'm not shocked. She's always the first with something to say. JC's a bad person, plain and simple. I'm nothing like her. She says, Mackenzie, what am I holding right now? And Mackenzie looks at what she's holding, and in fact, it is a rose. She says, what are these sharp things along the stem? And she's like, these are thorns. And then she said, thorns can be very dangerous if you're distracted by the lovely petals, but they're not hiding. She says, my tag partner can say whatever she wants about me. I have nothing to hide. Can't wait to see JC tonight. Give her a piece of my mind.
So next we had Tony D'Angelo and Stax walk into a restaurant. They go to their private room in the back.
Yeah, I get the feeling from the tone of your voice you didn't like this segment.
It's kind of confusing. So Tony says the family couldn't be happier about the news. The streets are talking about the new underboss, and the first act is the most important act.
Yeah.
And Stack says, and that's why I'm taking on the biggest guy I can find. And Tony says, if you can do that, that's fine. Stack says, I know I can. Yeah. So they raise their glasses of wine. They cheers. And Tony says to the new underboss. I'm like,
and then there was also like a little bit there, like an interaction with like the waiter comes over. He's like, hey, Stack.
I think it was like the owner of the place. Yeah.
He's like, thanks so much about what you did at the horse races or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Tony was like, hey, good job. It's all this nebulous gangster talk.
Exactly. And it's all this nebulous stuff. Okay. It's like, I need specifics. Why should I care about any of this?
What is their fucking racket, man?
Apparently horses.
They got horses. They're also at the docks. Yeah. Is Electra Lopez still working the docks?
Didn't they do sanitation stuff for a spell?
I think he did sanitation stuff. His restaurant is completely empty, so how exclusive is it? He's like, hey, we got this back room. It's like nobody's there at all.
Yeah, I know.
You know what?
In fact, you had to rent out the whole restaurant to shoot this bit, didn't you?
Yeah. I will appreciate that Stax as a character is coming along. Yeah. This stuff is. Maggie says a back room in a Golden Corral. Yeah, I can appreciate that he's coming along as a character, but yeah, it's like, why do we care about this shit? Like, what?
That's exactly what it is.
You killed one guy, but then you got beat up by Dijak. And who's gonna be the biggest guy that Stax finds?
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too.
Who's like literally? Like, I mean, it's probably gonna be some big giant jobber.
They're gonna have Shanky come back to NXT?
My God, I was just thinking that, but I think it's because somebody in the chat mentioned Shanky. They're like, "Where's Shanky been?" the biggest guy he can find. It's going to be some no-name, PC jobber guy, but he's going to be like 7 feet tall.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, after that, we had Wendy Chu versus Elektra Lopez. So it shows earlier in the day, Lopez had asked Feroz if she remembers what she told her last week. And Feroz is like, yeah, fight to win and fight for respect. Lopez says, yeah, I want you to watch my match at ringside. So they have that match. Sure enough, Feroz comes down like mid-match. This is a really quick match. And then Lopez gets brass knuckles from her tights after Chu hit a back elbow and a splash off the second rope. Chu looks for a handspring forearm, and then Lopez blasts her with the knucks. Ref didn't notice it, and then Feroz talks. As
Lopez is hitting Wendy with the brass knuckles, you see the ref talking to Feroz to kind of distract the ref. So
that's what the distraction was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Lopez gets the win. Maybe the ref was just confused as why she's out there because she didn't have a manager's license.
That could be. That's a good point. They've established that as a thing.
Yeah.
So we're backstage with Briggs and Fallon. Briggs is like, hey, I'm happy that you won. And Jensen steps in and says, hey, James, Kiana is happier than biscuits on gravy about the victory. And Fallon asks, well, what's next for you guys? He's talking about them.
Yeah, right.
And Jensen says, well, I went to Shawn Michaels' office, and I got you and Kiana a tag title shot at Vengeance. And you'd think, wow, you did that? You got us a title shot? That's great. I get a chance to be champion. But Fallon says, wait, tonight was supposed to be a one-time thing. You didn't ask me about it first. And then they're both like, this is a really good opportunity. Chance to be champion. She says, I'm feeling blindsided. I need to go think about this.
So you get a tag title shot after one single match with hella cheating involved, and you're pissed off? You have the opportunity at gold. No wonder her bar was sinking into the ground.
Nothing that Kiana did is cheating. Bending the rules a bit, maybe, but there was no obvious cheating. There was no...
Man, what are you talking about? I don't think you're allowed to... You're not allowed to do that shit she did. Look, I'm with you. I'm cool. I'm cool with what Kiana James did.
The back turn, you can pull someone by the hair and break out the pin. Her holding
that's a good point.
Tatum from getting in the ring, there's nothing illegal about that.
I think, you're always supposed to be holding onto the tag ropes, aren't you?
To get tagged in, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, well,
you can walk down the apron all you want.
Look, I'll put it this way. If I'm Shawn Michaels, did he watch this match? Was he like, oh, man.
Because it's like, if he hadn't, he'd be like, well, you haven't had a match yet. Why should I give you a tag shot?
All right, so fair. I can see the point. So they didn't really cheat. But that's sort of my point, though. It's like, like you have one match and you get this tag. You should be over the moon right now.
I know, after one match. How many teams have to wrestle dozens of matches to get a title opportunity?
Yeah.
After one, you get a title shot.
Yeah, you should be happy. What is her deal? Man. No, that's what I was saying, man. I was like, no wonder her bar was sinking into the ground. She probably turned down hell opportunities.
Maybe, in fact, Briggs and Jensen did come to her with a bunch of ideas.
Oh, yeah. Off camera. And they were great ideas.
Garbage. Crap.
They're like, hey, country line dancing night. No, I don't want to do that.
Terrible idea. Karaoke. Live band karaoke. Garbage idea.
No, not a good idea. She's like, listen, guys, I like to pump in crowd noise into my empty bar so people think that it's crowded.
When people walk in to see us empty and hear the sound of a crowded bar and they're confused, and they'll probably leave because it's quite disturbing.
Yeah, or haunted.
Yeah, or haunted, yes.
By dead patrons of the bar's past.
Yes, that too. Again, they'll turn around and leave.
Yeah, regardless. This next part was terrible. No, I'm sorry. 2 parts later. So first we get backstage stuff between Elektra Lopez and Valentina Feroz. Lopez says, it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. And then Feroz says, I don't know if I could do that to Wendy. She's my friend. Lopez says, dirty gets the job done. Oh, man. She says, so you can keep your friends and I'll just keep on winning. Okay, so whatever. After that, this is maybe the fucking worst interview I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Pretty bad.
I feel so bad for Stevie Turner, but my God.
This isn't very good.
So Mackenzie is ready for Stevie Turner to be there in person for an interview.
Yes.
They got, of course, the TV right next to her backstage because that's always there. and then the TV turns on, and it's Stevie Turner at her, at her chat set.
Well, she's streaming. Yes, this is midstream. Yes.
Yeah, it's midstream. The thing that I love about this is like during the thing, it says like her little socials pop up. It says follow on Twitter and Instagram. Like, where is she streaming? Facebook Gaming, Twitch.
Well, no, she said Super Chat, so that's YouTube.
No, it was Stevie. It was Super Stevie Chats.
Still,
so that's like a different thing.
That leads me to believe that's like her own customized thing for Super Chats. That's YouTube.
Maybe, I don't know. It didn't say on the thing.
Well, of course it's not going to say because she's now streaming there. The implication is YouTube. So like Mackenzie's like, yeah, you're supposed to be here for an in-person interview.
They should have kayfabe like a WWE.com/streaming.
Tout. Streaming on Tout.
Yeah, streaming on Tout.
So Mackenzie's like, you're supposed to be here. And Stevie's like, nah, in fact, you're a bad interviewer. I'm going to take questions from Super Stevie Chats. First one asks, when are you going to make your debut? She says, next week. And then another chatter asks, who are you looking forward to facing? And Stevie says, obviously Roxanne, but I doubt she'll have her title after Vengeance Day. Stream over. See you later.
Maybe like, because, one time, Bama sees me doing this shit all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so she comes in one day and I had loaded up Minecraft or I don't know, some game she likes. And I just for fun, I turn on the camera and I just, hit record. It'd be a good memory from when I'm fucking in my 60s or whatever and I can watch this. Dude, it was like a fucking hour of her acting like she's streaming. And it was like the cutest. Maybe Stevie just maybe somebody, maybe like her dad came in and just hit record and she's acting like she's streaming, but she's not really. She's just recording all this shit.
She's streaming to the closed circuit television inside the Performance Center.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody can
for 8 to 12 hours a day, her streams are blaring through the speaker system, the Performance Center.
Right, exactly. And like Shawn Michaels gets on, he's like, I'll send in a Super Stevie Chat. That's what her pay comes in the form of. Oh man. Then forces somebody handed her an unplugged-in controller. It's on like the demo.
Yeah.
It's on the display fucking gameplay.
Oh my gosh. So then Grayson Waller comes to the ring for a promo. He says, Braun, I ain't got time for games. Yesterday I punked you out in front of the Performance Center. I showed the world I'm tougher than you, and tougher than anyone in this building. So where are you at, Braun? So Braun's in the locker room. He sees this. He gets mad.
Man, you're not lying. There's a lot of fucking talking in this episode.
There is a lot of talking in the second hour, especially. So he's got this like fuzzy pink coat on, and so he says, "I don't have a steel plate under here." So he takes it off, and there is NXT title. He says, "Just my NXT championship." Where are you at, Braun? Do you need your dad to bark 3 times for you to show up? And they cut backstage. Braun's like trucking through the backstage, getting
mad
more and more
now,
mad, pushing people aside. And he says, people are talking that I should be scared to get in the cage with Braun, but Braun should be scared to get in the cage with me. The secret is that Braun needs to win this match, because if he doesn't, it's going to haunt his life for the rest of his life. Haunt him for the rest of his life. I think it's time for everyone to get their phones out, because I got a feeling we're about to make another viral moment. So by that point, Braun's pushed past security. Men's locker room empties out. He starts pushing past all of them, and he gets in the ring, takes down Waller, hits some shots. Security, men's locker room gets in the ring to separate him. Waller leaves. Braun jumps to the floor. The brawl resumes, and Braun tries to spear Waller against the barricade. Waller sidesteps, so Braun puts himself through the barricade.
But Waller, it was like, yeah. Like, no, it was
happy about it.
It was a really cool spot because like it would like the barricade, like he went. It wasn't like it fell over.
He put a hole in it.
He put a hole in it,
like it was drywall.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. No, it was a really cool spot. I liked it.
Yeah, they're doing actually a pretty good job building up this feud.
Yeah, they are. Like you said, Waller's in his head, and Braun's too much of a dullard to do anything about it.
Yep.
I'd rather be fishing, but now I'm in a barricade, so I'm trapped. Anyways, after
we got the Gallus video package. They're in a bar playing pool.
You didn't write one fucking word here.
Mark was complaining about the watered down beer.
Hey, what's with this beer? They were going so all in on talking as fast as they can in the thickest Scottish accents they possibly could. It was hilarious because the whole point is you can't understand what the fuck they're saying. And Mark especially was talking so fast. I was like, what is he saying? I rewound it just because like they were also trying not to laugh because they were fully aware of what they were doing. But no, this is pretty funny. They're just playing pool, complaining about the beer. It's I'd rather be back in Scotland, doing off stuff, It was funny stuff. Anyways, after that we had Alba Fire versus Caden Carter and Katana Chance. And so it's like Alba Fire is going to do this tag match on her own and become, single person tag champion.
Yeah.
But no, Sol Ruca comes to ringside and she's like, I got your back. And then Alba spends most of the time.
Whenever you say Sol Ruca's name, you sound like you're saying it as Al Pacino playing Jimmy Hoffa in The Irishman.
Yeah, Sol Ruca. Ruca comes down and then she charges. She doesn't run away because she's got a gun. She's got a knife, you run away. She's got a gun. This is my son.
This is my son. You see what he did?
You see what he did? Him. Dude, it sounds like an Al Pacino word. It sounds like something Al Pacino would naturally say when he wakes up in the morning. Oh, Sol Ruca.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great. Anyways, so Sol Ruca comes to the ring. And she's the partner, and Alba's like in the match for a long time. She don't want to tag her in. Eventually, she does. Sol Ruca's got all sorts of cool stuff, like that fucking split leg stunner she did.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. But in the end, so Carter kicks Sol, follows a super kick, tags and Chance. They hit their finish for the win after Katana had sent Alba out of the ring. So Alba's like, this sucks. I probably didn't even need you. She walks past Sol up the ramp, and then Isla meets her up there and follows her backstage. So I'm assuming they're just going to be a tag team at this point, man.
Seems like that could be. That could be the case.
I could see them. That's a powerful team right there. I could see them being the ones to take.
That could be good. That could be good. So then you hear a voice, like a disembodied voice. Hey, over here. And it's Kiana James and Fallon Henley on the platform. That's over by the crowd. And then Fallon says, thought about it. See you at Vengeance Day. So...
fine, I guess you get your, anyways.
Get your opportunity. So after that, we had a Dijak little video package.
I like these, man.
Where he's in the room, the dimly lit room. He's all angry.
What's he writing in his little note? What's the characters writing in notebooks, man? Because he's writing in his little, it's like, there was like a little mini notebook. He had like a lot of stuff. That
movies like detectives carry around?
Yeah, right. No, it wasn't a flip over. It was a diary type,
Oh, okay.
It was, it had binding on it. And so Wes Lee steps in. They got like film grain on it. And Dijak says, Mr. Lee, didn't think you had the balls to show. And Wes is like, you got to have a pair of balls to hold on to this title right here. And he said, this is your last chance. Hand me the title. Give it now. And Lee is like, okay, I fought tooth and nail to get to NXT. When people chant my name, I feel like I can overcome anything and anybody. So just know this, Dijak, I'm going to keep my title. Yeah, I don't deal with sob stories, okay? I deal with hard justice. I could use an hour of this shit, man. I think it's great.
It was great because Wesley was like, people said I've been making stupid decisions my whole career. And like, he basically telling his whole story in that people referred to like basically every step in his career as him making a stupid decision. Like, people said I was making a stupid decision leaving Dayton, Ohio to try to be a wrestler and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. And Dijak's
Wesley's
like,
great.
He's like, you know what? I had 5 barbecues last night. People say that's a stupid decision, but look at me now. Very happy. Tastes so good going down.
Happiest hard justice ever been.
Spent half an hour on the pot today.
That's fine.
That's fine. I like it.
Relieved. Hard justice. That's some hard justice for the toilet.
That plumber felt some hard justice.
But like Wes Lee is the most relatable, genuine character in all of NXT.
That's why it's amazing that he's in this feud, because hard justice isn't.
No.
So he got like this normal dude who's like a proxy for us all, and then he's in this fucking 80s weird action movie.
Yeah. But he's not selling it like it's a weird scenario. This is just like a normal thing.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
That's why it works. Then we got a Cora Jade interview. She's talking about Lyra Valkyria. She says Lyra needs to learn her place, and I'll be happy to teach her that lesson. Lyra's not better than me, and she'll never be better than me. And she looks in her locker, and there's a feather, which is Lyra's thing. And the Vic's like through the headset saying, Mackenzie, there's something going on in the parking lot. And Mackenzie's like, I got to cut this interview short. And Cora's like, oh, no, I say when my interview ends. By that time, the camera's already cut. We're in the parking lot. Someone had laid out Nikita Lyons.
The great thing about this, there's like 1 million people in the parking lot just walking around, not doing shit to help her.
No. No one saw anything?
Yeah, nobody saw. Well, I think we're supposed to piece it together. Again, it was the thing. I watched it again. I was like, okay, who's back there? I couldn't even tell who the fuck was in there. I got like a big screen TV. I couldn't even tell who was there. But a bunch of people were walking around. You see a car leave, and maybe Zoe Stark's in the car. I don't know. But Cronus is there on the parking lot. She's like, So apparently she tweeted out that she busted her ACL and meniscus as well. So she's gonna be out for a little while.
Yeah. Then we're back in the locker room. Excuse me. Andre.
I mean,
Chase.
we should mention that Indy and Lyra came down eventually and asked for help for Nikita Lyons.
Yes, that's correct. So we're in the locker room. Chase and Thea Hale are talking, and Duke steps in, and Chase is like, well, you walked out in the entire university. And Duke's like, no, well, technically I walked out, but I wasn't walking out on the university. And Chase is like, well, what's the point of all this? Duke says, you're an inspiration. And I know you still don't trust me after that video last week was taken out of context. So, yes, I left ringside, but I walked directly to Shawn Michaels' office, and I demanded that he puts us in New Day Invitational.
Yeah.
And then they are like, well, what did Shawn Michaels say? And Duke takes a few moments and says, he told me to talk to the New Day. What did the New Day say? They said they really like the architecture of the university. And they're like, get to the point. He says, we're in.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah. Really milked it there.
Yeah.
And then we had the main event segment, the Women's Title Championship Summit. Booker T was the host. He says, Gigi, you get to start. And Gigi says, JC probably wants to start, so go ahead and tell people how great you are. JC says, I've been carrying you for the last year, so I'll admit that you're good, but I dragged you to success. If it wasn't for me, you'd be another YouTube, what is this, Sessions? Living on the indie scene? Sensation, living on the indie scene, yes. Yeah. So Gigi says, I love your external confidence when the cameras are on, but behind the curtain, you're the most insecure person I've ever met. She says, here's since we're shooting from the hip, here's some info for you. Backstage, JC gets so nervous before matches, she has to puke in the back. There's even a bucket with her name on it. That's disgusting. Anyways, JC says, you're a liar. And Gigi says, who's going to hold your hair back while you puke when your hands are full holding the women's title? And then Perez asked Booker T if you got some popcorn because I'm enjoying this. She says, Gigi and JC have insulted every woman in the locker room and made my life a living hell, so I'm glad they're feeling the same way they made every woman feel. Karma is a toxic bitch. She said, I thought it was going to be a handicap match of Vengeance Day. Looks like it's going to be a real triple threat. So the odds are stacked against me, but I'm going to walk in Vengeance Day champ and walk out. And then Gigi interrupts. Says, Prez is going to be the shortest reigning women's champion in history, but the funny thing is, I don't have to beat you. I could pin JC. JC says, I could pin you. And if history's any indication, that's not too hard to do. Woo. So they keep on talking shit to each other. They both stand up. They face-to-face. They're arguing, and they just stop. And they smile at each other, and they look over at Perez. It's been a big swerve. And then they attack her. And then they put her through the table with a double choke slam.
Yeah.
So it is indeed going to be. And then they co-hold the title up high. So it indeed is going to be a handicap match, at least at the outset. But of course, they're going to turn on each other.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Before we get to questions here, I want to point out we got 2 new YouTube channel members just during this stream. Poe456 and Alfred Salazar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now you guys might be able, Alfred and Poe could become new digital Big Red Champion. You don't get the physical title.
That stays here.
That's here, because I don't know. You send it to, I don't know, somebody, and then they're like, we never hear from them again.
Exactly.
Then it ends up on eBay. How much do you think we can get for that thing on eBay?
$35. That's going to stay here.
35? That's it? Really?
I don't know.
Maggie also gifted a sub to Adam Pearson. Thank you very much, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie. So nice. Hello, Adam Pearson. See Adam is here in chat.
Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and
A. Edward with the sub here on Twitch as well.
Thank you, A. Edward.
So while Steve's pulling up questions, I'll use this as a reminder. 200 likes. I guess Steve will try to get Triple H on the horn.
Yeah, we're only at 126 right now. Mm-hmm. People were like, yeah, the Bellas, we're not going to tune into this broadcast. Sort of just a slow news day. It's all right.
It was a slow news day. It was, yeah.
It's not always going to be a fire news day. Let's see here. So I got a question thread here on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson. First up, Oh, from the patron known as Steve and Triple H are different people. Says, can I get a birthday shout out from Stone Cold calling JR a mealy mouth son of a bitch? Hey, guess what? Well, I don't know. Let's see if I can get their actual, see if their name, it's not letting me load up their name. This is a birthday shout out from Stone Cold Steve Austin to Steve and Triple H are different people. JR is a mealy mouth son of a bitch. Stay out of my files, JR. Oh, man.
Wow.
What's in your files, Stone Cold? Just stay out of my files.
Reference in there. Wow.
You like that? You're the only person who'd get that. Stay out of my files. Oh, man. Anyways, let's see here. Alex Foster. Is it weird that NXT might be becoming my favorite show? No, dude, it's that's cool. I don't know you personally, Alex Foster, but I don't think that's weird.
No, it's not weird at all.
That's cool, man.
That's good that people like it,
Yeah. It does decent in the ratings. Like, I thought that shit was going to
this week.
I thought that shit was going to bottom out at 400,000. I thought it was going to be like Rampage numbers.
607 with a .12 this week.
That's not great.
No, it's not great, but
there was like a week it did like 800 or almost 800, something like that.
Is that the week? What week is that?
I don't know. It was like a couple weeks ago, I think. I swear it did pretty good. It was in the sevens, I think.
It has been the seventh before that, I can confirm.
Yeah. Let's see here. Cameron says, was the NXT PC fight video between Braun and Waller the best kayfabe shoot-looking fight in a long time?
It definitely helped that they did the cell phone approach to it. They didn't try to shoot it with cameras, their usual cameras. Yeah. It helped. It helped make it feel more authentic.
Yeah. Let's see here. The Enforcer, he's echoing our sentiments. Says, what's up with Fallon Henley being all pissed at Briggs and Strand about getting a tag team title match with Kiana James? It's the best she's had so far. She says, what changed her mind? Because 30 minutes later, she was all about it. Yeah, what changed her mind?
I mean, I would think she just maybe had some moments to sit and think and realize this is a title opportunity. You don't pass those up.
Yeah, right.
Passed up an opportunity to become a champion.
She sat down. Maybe she was just hungry.
That could be. I know when I get hungry, man, I get grumpy.
She's like, I got to get some McNuggets in me, man. Had a couple of those, Do you
think they cater NXT like what a Trump's
like the White House
celebration things? Just all McDonald's.
If they do, I need to audition for NXT, man. I got one of them tryouts just for the catering alone. Free McDonald's. Heck yeah, man.
McDonald's is so expensive.
Dude, why is it that everything's expensive, man?
Well, I know, but McDonald's is shockingly expensive now.
Nothing is cheap anymore. It's horrible. Yeah, McDonald's is, but all fast food is. There's no cheap fast food. Even Taco Bell, I think, is like expensive.
It's more expensive, but it's cheaper at McDonald's. You get lunch for a family of four, and you're spending $40 at McDonald's.
Oh, dude, that's why I don't do that shit anymore. I'm like, Bama, you want a Happy Meal? And then I get home and like Summer, my older one, is like, you didn't tell me. I'm like, Summer, you work at a place that gives you free food. Take advantage of that shit. It's a bomb ass barbecue place she works at too.
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, like if I did not care about like my health, I'd be like, hey, Summer, bring me back, some ribs every night.
Oh yeah.
They have like chili mac and cheese over there. It's called O'Connor's in Orangevale. It's amazing.
That sounds good.
Yeah, no, it's hecka good. Anyways, Alex, Queen of the Ring, is in our YouTube chat.
Alex.
She said this is a different Friendo-verse. Yeah, man, it's like parallel universes over here.
It is. Everybody's saying what you need to use the McDonald's app, and then it's cheaper.
Oh, what a rip.
Why they gotta be secret codes involved in all this?
Yeah, right.
Like what if I wasn't that well versed in phone stuff?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah. What kind of offers
you're getting a raw deal, just like spur of the moment. Oh, we're driving by McDonald's.
That's ageism. That's ageism, is what it is. It's ageism because, like, as old people, like we're like, oh, what?
I know.
What if I just want a flip phone, man?
What if I'm just driving down the street? McDonald's sounds good. I pull in the drive-through. I don't have time to fumble with my phone to look for.
Do you have the app, sir?
On the app.
No. Okay, then.
No, you have an app.
Okay, then it's a mortgage payment. It's all right. Let's see here. High Plains Drifter says, you see Carl Frederick sign a bit back with NXT. What do you think his ceiling is? I think it's pretty high.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I've seen a couple of his matches.
Yeah, same here. He's good. they can come up with a good character for him, or if he can come up with a good character, he can deliver in the ring. He's got a great drop kick if memory serves.
Yeah. Jonathan says, do you have any kind of expectations for this Briscoe Lethal match tonight? Man, I'm going to get misty-eyed.
Same.
Oh, boy, I'm going to get misty-eyed.
Same. Yeah. There might be some tears.
Yeah, for sure. David Matushik says, considering that Toxic Attraction barely showed tension amongst them trying to break up, then there's a possibility they'll pull the trigger on possible solo runs after Vengeance Day. Yeah, I think they're going to break up at Vengeance Day.
Yeah. Once they're in the ring together and the title's actually on the line, it's a different story.
They've done everything they could do in the tag division. They held those titles for almost a year.
Yeah. Unless we get called up to main as a tag team.
Yeah, that's a possibility. B-Man Patrick Sparks says, what's the best work-shoot segment like Braun and Waller at the PC that you were convinced could have been legit? So nothing really on TV that I can think of, because it's on TV. It's like, well, that's real.
Oh, the Okada, we got kicked in the face.
Oh, that's a good one. They made that shit look real. I was really wondering about that. Oh, my God.
I was, too, until the other dude hit him with the German suplex on the floor. I was like, okay,
the German suplex is when you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Angle.
Yeah. Nick Kyle has a good question. How does Stevie Turner do super chats when she does not have a YouTube channel? It's just like, so we call, like, nobody ever does donations here except for like Dirty Rich. But like we have like a friendo.tv. Yeah. You can donate there if you just want to kick us some money. And we call those power chats.
Yeah.
Same thing. You just set up the alert to make it something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Austin and White Brownie brings up Austin and Tyson.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. That looked real, but that was just kind of clear what that was.
It didn't look quite as real as that Okada bit.
That's true, yeah. Until the German suplex.
Oregon
Grinder says, I still kind of think the Okada thing was a shoot. Yeah, I'm not too convinced, like that it. There wasn't
a work element to it.
Yeah, boy, that was some good Okada there.
That was great.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm starving. All that talking, and it's funny because now we've got we have like a bunch more people watching on YouTube. Like somehow our McDonald's talk elevated us by like 60 views.
Maybe we got to start a McDonald's podcast.
Don't even tempt me, man. Oh shit!
Every day we go through the app and try to figure out what the best deals are.
Yeah, well, that's good Friendo Club TV content right there.
Is it though?
Probably. People love that food stuff, man. They love that.
People like to eat.
They like McDonald's too because it's all dipped in beef fat.
Well, yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
We got a Dynamite preview. You want to do that before?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. That's cool. Yeah, look, we're at 159 likes, man. We're not going to get Triple H. No Triple H today. You guys failed.
Rewards and deals. Oh, I got to sign in.
Yeah, no, I just downloaded it. Same
here, but I got to sign in.
Let's see here. We got AEW Dynamite tonight. Darby Allin versus Buddy Matthews. Easy win for Darby Allin. That's going to be a good one, though. I mean, it's just going to be Buddy Matthews beating the shit out of Darby Allin.
And then Darby hitting a couple moves. Code Red, Stunner.
Some Sting-esque stuff.
Yeah, do a Scorpion Death Drop, yeah.
That second rope Scorpion Death Drop was awesome before.
Yeah, it was. We got Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Taking on Ricky Starks and Action Andretti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Guevara's going to eat the pin on that one. Brian Cage versus Bryan Danielson. Cage is going to eat the pin on that one.
You got that right. We got some the Gunn family therapy here with the Acclaimed.
That might be entertaining.
Yeah, I expect it to be pretty entertaining.
Jungle Hook versus Ethan Page and Matt Hardy. That should be entertaining.
That should be fun. Tony Storm versus Ruby Soho.
No, that'll be good. Oh my God, that'll be a good match.
You got that right.
Yeah.
And then Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal.
That's gonna be, man. Yeah.
It's gonna be emotional.
I'm gonna get misty out on that one. I'll tell you what.
Same.
Yeah. Before we leave, I forgot to mention this. Alex is in our chat. Go check out the Queen of the Ring podcast right now, wherever podcasts can be found, and of course at the Queen of the Ring YouTube channel as well. Check that out. Yes. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Saul Ruka.